And we back. Now it's time for us to fill out our March Madness NCAA tournament bracket. Y'all have to remember that I don't watch any college basketball. I probably watched 2 or 3 games, and one of those games was the time Zion's shoe busted and he got injured. So I am not an expert. Actually, I'm the exact opposite of an expert. I'm like a noob to the college basketball scene. But I like to fill out brackets. It's really just fun to make some predictions without knowing nothing. Last year, I predicted the Loyola Chicago run just because I wanted a team from Chicago to do good, and boom. It was no logic behind it. I just took a guess and it worked out. So hopefully we could try to make a guess like that happen today. And I'm starting to think about these NBA prospects a little bit more because we're getting closer to the offseason, especially for my favorite team, the Chicago Bulls. We're going to be in the lottery. So I need to do some research on a lot of these guys. And part of that has to do with the NCAA tournament. So let's get right into it. Don't be upset if I eliminate your favorite team and you think they're going to win a championship because, again, I don't watch your favorite team. I'm just out here having some fun. All right, so let's get into the first matchup, which is Duke going against the 16. I'm not going to use this very often, but at the bottom, they kind of give you, like, what are the percentage chances that a team is going to win? You see this 100? I'm going to roll with Duke here. Now, I understand that Virginia lost last year to a 16, but that Duke team, if they lose to a 16, yeah, next. So now we have VCU versus UCF. I'm going to go with UCF because they have that super tall dude. He's like 6'7", or 7'6", 7'6". And I want to see him go against Zion in the second round. So that's who I want to see win. Next, we have Liberty versus Mississippi State. I'm going to be picking, I don't want to say a lot, but there are going to be some underdogs that get picked here for me. In the 5-12 matchup, y'all know every year a 12 takes out a 5. And Liberty is going to take out Mississippi State in my eyes. And look, they're 25% chance is what they're saying. But I'm going to go with the underdog there. Next, Virginia Tech versus St. Louis. Give me the Tech. They have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's cousin, who's an NBA prospect this year. So I'm going to go with that. A lot of these teams I'm watching to see the NBA prospects, honestly. So now we have Belmont versus Maryland. This is kind of tough for me. I know a lot of people are going Belmont here. But since a lot of people are going Belmont, part of me is like, you know what? Let's just go with the other team. I'm going to go Belmont, though. I'm going to go Belmont. So some teams I do know a little bit about, like I'm pretty sure LSU, they don't have their head coach right now. So I'm going to go with them over Yale. I think they're still going to win even without their head coach. Now, Minnesota versus Louisville. Isn't Minnesota's coach like Rick Pitino's son? I'm pretty sure he's Rick Pitino's son. So let's take a look at this. Their records against top 25 teams, they both are into a pretty decent conference. I'm going to go with Louisville in this situation. Let's stick with the higher seed. And then Michigan State over Bradley. Okay, let's go to the West. Gonzaga getting out of that first round. I think that zone that Syracuse runs is going to be decent. And last year they had a really good run. So let's say that this year they're going to do something similar. And then they go against Gonzaga, which is going to be a game that I'm going to talk about when we get to that second round. Murray State versus Marquette. We got Ja Morant versus... is it Marcus Howard or something like that? Like some of these guys, I know who they are because I watch highlights, not because I watched their full games. So if people are saying this is going to be one crazy matchup, I'm going to go with the guy I know a little bit more about, and that's going to be Ja Morant and company. Vermont versus Florida State. Give me Florida State. Buffalo is going to advance over whoever that 11 seed is. It don't matter. I believe in Buffalo. Next, Northern Kentucky versus Texas Tech. I'm probably going to go Texas Tech here, but Northern Kentucky had a great season. Obviously, every team in this conference had a pretty good season. I'm going to go with Texas Tech. Next, Nevada versus Florida. Nevada had that big run last year, and I feel like they can do it again because they got those twin brothers, right? They be hoping. And then Michigan over Montana. Next part of the bracket, we going out south as we get Virginia. Again, it's not happening again. Please don't do it again, Virginia. I mean, it don't matter to me. But it would be terrible if y'all lost to the 16 again. But I don't think it's going to happen. These 8-9 matchups, I don't really know. I'm not sure if there's a guy on Ole Miss I should be worried about or a guy on Oklahoma. I'm talking about NBA prospects. So, let's just go with Ole Miss. Let's go with Ole Miss, and then I'm pretty sure I'm going to have Virginia beat that team later. Then I'm going Oregon over Wisconsin. Yeah, give me the Ducks. And I know that Bo has been injured and everything, but I still going to go with the Ducks. And then I'm also going with UC Irvine. Or wait. I think I want to go UC Irvine and then Wisconsin. I think that's the way I thought about it in my mind. UC Irvine, this may be the team I'm thinking about making that Loyola Chicago run. I got a feeling something about them being 30-5, and I'm pretty sure they got a pretty good. Oh wait, I'm going with this guy. All right, I'm going with UC Irvine. One of my bold predictions, and we may see them go to the Sweet 16 in my eyes. That may be my team, but we're gonna come back to it. St. Mary versus Villanova. Villanova went from, top dogs. We had Ryan Arcidiacono, the Bridges brothers, Jalen Brunson, all those guys was hooping and now in the NBA, but now they don't got those guys. And St. Mary's, we're not talking St. Vincent St. Mary, we talk about St. Mary's. I'm having them advance. Boom. Then we have Purdue over Old Dominion. Shout out to Kim Bazemore, but your team ain't doing it this year. I mean, maybe it does. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just making predictions. But Purdue, do they have that one guy? Purdue has this one guy who's like somebody I heard, because I haven't looked at anybody else's bracket. I haven't read any articles yet, but I heard from just like at the barbershop that this guy's the James Harden of that team. I'm going to go with the James Harden of that team. I'm not saying he is James Harden. I'm not saying he's a superstar MVP caliber. But the fact, I mean, like they run their entire offense through that one player. But I'm going to go with him. Then we have Cincy over Iowa, and then Tennessee over Colgate. Going to leave a bad taste in their mouth, if you get what I'm saying. Next, the bottom of this bracket, the Midwest, North Carolina, Washington over Utah State. Washington has this guy named Matisse Thybulle. And I've been watching some highlights of Matisse Thybulle, and they run this zone, right? Again, I don't watch the actual games. I just watch the highlights sometimes. They run this zone, and Matisse Thybulle is like the king of that zone. He averages like, well, how many blocks and steals he averages? I just know that boy defends, and I think he won Defensive Player of the Year of his conference. Let's see. 3.5 steals and 2 blocks. He's 6'5", and he averages 2 blocks. That defense in that zone is going to be nasty. They only give up 64 points a game. I'm going to go with them. Even though Utah State scores a bunch, it's going to be offense versus defense, but I'm going to take the defense in that situation. Next, New Mexico State versus Auburn. If I remember correctly, Auburn beat Tennessee twice, and that's crazy, but they lost to Kentucky twice too. Tennessee's a very good team. So part of me wants to go with them because they already have some good wins, but I like the underdog here. Give me New Mexico State. And part of me don't like that. Ooh, part of me is like, you know what? Maybe we should go with the top dog. But it don't matter because they're going against Kansas in the second round. And Kansas hasn't been amazing this year. But I'm still thinking they're getting out of that first round. Next, Ohio State versus Iowa State. Iowa State has 2 people on their roster that I know. One of them I went to high school with, and then one of them is just from Chicago. So I'm rooting for them. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship, but that's one of the teams that I want to see win a bunch of games. So because of that, I'm saying they get out of that first round. And they're going to go against Houston in the second round. And then Seton Hall versus Wofford. I like those smaller schools like Wofford. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about Wofford. But they only lost 4 games. 3 of those games being the top 25 teams, which is... Ooh, they lost bad to them, too. They lost by 11 to North Carolina, 25 to Kansas, 11 to... Ooh, my God. But then you got Seton Hall, on the other hand. Though they ain't have a great season, they beat some top 25 teams. Kentucky by 1. This is tough. This is tough. They scored the ball a bunch. Wofford does. So let's go with the offensive powerhouse here. And then... Kentucky. That's the first round from my eyes. Now, the second round and the rest, I'm going to try to breeze through it a little bit because I talked about every team. I'm going Duke. I'm sorry. I feel like it's going to be hard to see Duke lose. I know they don't shoot a lot of threes, but they got Zion. They got Cam. They got RJ. I'm going with them. Then we got Virginia Tech advancing. And then since they don't have their coach in that second round, I'm thinking Belmont's like, you know what, LSU? I'm going to the Sweet 16. We dancing. And then I'm going with Michigan State, Gonzaga over Syracuse. Gonzaga has some players on their team that I like. Like, what's his name? Rui Hachimura? Is that how you pronounce that man's name? I like him. I think he's going to be a pretty decent NBA player, too. And then I'm going to go with Florida State. Give me Texas Tech. And Nevada's going back to the Sweet 16. Okay, Virginia, UC Irvine, Purdue, Tennessee. Then I got, this is going to be a good game. Again, Matisse Thybulle is going to be hooping, but North Carolina scores too many points, and I think they're going to tear that zone apart in the second round, and they're going to the Sweet 16. Then I got New Mexico State. And then we're going Iowa State, and then Kentucky. Okay, so Sweet 16, Duke. I'm sorry. Do y'all see where this is going? I feel like Duke is going to be unstoppable. It may be a year, but again, they could get upset. If they have a game where a team is knocking out threes and Duke can't knock down the threes to match it, boom, they lose. But something tells me they're just going to be steamrolling. And this is where I think the Belmont run comes to an end as they go against Michigan State. Florida State beats Gonzaga. And then Texas Tech beats Nevada. That Sweet 16 run ends there. Then this is where I believe Virginia beats UC Irvine. It was a good run. Sweet 16 as the 13th seed. Boom, you did great. And then we got... this is a little bit more tough here. I think I'm going to go with Tennessee here. And it kind of sucks because though I got some lower seeds, you know, in the Sweet 16. A lot of them not making it to the Elite 8 in my eyes. As we do North Carolina, Kentucky. Yeah. All right, so now we are in the Elite 8. Again, Duke. I don't know how Duke is going to... I just explained to you how Duke could lose, but I just think they got too much talent. And then this is where Tennessee makes it past Virginia. And I don't feel great about Virginia. I really don't. But I don't see a path where they lose to one of these teams unless like Wisconsin comes out and beat them in the Sweet 16. But again, this is my bold prediction, you know. Next down here, we have North Carolina and then Florida State. Didn't Florida State lose pretty early last year? Huh. Oh my God. Oh, wait. They went on a 14-1 run to end the season. Yeah, Florida State, they on fire. So I'm going with the team that's on fire. Perfect. So, what do we have now? Oh, we have the Final Four of Duke versus Florida State, Tennessee versus North Carolina. I think we're getting the good old-fashioned Duke versus North Carolina in the finals. And I'm saying Duke wins 80-75. All right. And that is my bracket. Here it is. In all its glory. It could be 100% wrong, or it could be that one bracket that finally gets the perfect one. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I am a noob here. I don't watch college ball, but it's always super fun. I know there are people out there that make 20, 30 brackets, and they always upset when the team that they predict lose. I don't care. I just like to have fun. If one of these teams that I predict to go far goes far, I look like a genius. It don't matter if I get everything else wrong. Think about that video from last year when I predicted Loyola Chicago. The rest of that bracket was kind of trash after we got to the Sweet 16, but I predicted Loyola Chicago, and that's the only thing people remember. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, especially if you actually watch college ball. This is McKinney. I'll be back. Peace.